Welcome back to the video lecture series on optics and spectroscopy. In today's lecture, we will discuss about the air wedge, the concept of air wedge, expression for the fringe width created in the air wedge. Then we will discuss an experimental procedure to measure the diameter of a given thin wire. These three topics we are going to discuss in the present lecture. Air wedge. What does it mean? What is actually wedge? Wedge, it's when you are moving an object. When you are moving an object, for example, a rolling object like a wood. If you want to stop the moving, or when a car is parked on a slopey area, right? In that time, in order to prevent the further moving, for a precautionary measure beyond handbrake or other things, we will put a small this shaped stone or wood like in front of the rolling material in order to prevent that moving object from moving. So that shape, right, is called wedge. So right, wedge, it represents a shape, right, like this shape is called wedge. It is the shape of the wedge. And what is air wedge? In the previous lecture, we have seen the interference caused because of two interacting light waves coming from the upper and lower surfaces of the thin film of thickness T. There we have the thin film has parallel surfaces, right? So incident light ray reflected from the upper surface, partial reflection and portion of the light refracted. Then in the lower surface, this refracted light ray again getting reflection, and on refraction, this reflected light ray again getting refracted at the top surface. This scenario we have discussed in the previous lecture. So this is all about thin film. But now we consider a case where upper surface and lower surface both are not parallel. This is situation 1. And situation 2, here this is a film. It is made up of a soap bubble, or it is an oil film, or it is a film made up of some other material film, right? Instead here upper part is air and lower part is air, in between is some other material. If we have a situation where this part, this inside is air, and this part and this and this is made up of some other material. For example, we are having one thin material here, another one material here, right? If I put this two material in the shape like this, right? If I am putting this material like this, this is an opaque material. Actually, it's a notebook, so this is an opaque material. Instead, if this material is made up of this, assume that this is a glass plate, this is another glass plate, so that if these both are transparent, right, then this is material, inside there is an air. This shape is called air wedge. Here we have air wedge, right? So that this is one class material, this is another class material of transparent nature. Now if you pass the light, this light will reflected at the top surface of the first class material, and it will also penetrate into the glass, and it travels through the air, and it is getting reflected in the second glass material which is placed flat. So that now these light rays will cause interference patterns. Say for example, so this is air material, air gap. So assume that there is an incoming light ray, incident light ray. So it is getting reflected here at this point, and portion of the light refracted into the bottom glass, and it again getting reflected, and the glass plate it is refracted. It is going like this, right? This is, assume that this is source light S, and it is getting a partial reflection and partial refraction at the point A. So on the reflected ray take the direction B, and at the point C, and the refracted ray getting again reflected, and reflected ray getting again refracted at point D, and this reflected ray travels in the direction E. Okay, here we can formally define here within this material the air is filled, right? So we can say that this the edges were met is called origin O, and from the origin O these edges of the two glass plates are diverging away, so that opposite end we can denote P, right? So here you can say OP, OQ, right? So that OP and OQ are the two glass plates, and both ends are met at one point. This is meeting point. Other side PQ, which is having a distance some like D. You can say this height, you can say it has some finite height. Another thing here, the angle, you can define angle. This angle of inclination you can say theta. Now thickness of the film, so this you can consider as another kind of film. For example, now this setup, the thickness of this setup is gradually increases. If you measure the thickness here, this will be D1. If you measure the thickness here, it will be D2. If you measure thickness here, it will be D3. Right from the origin, when you moving forward, the thickness will be slowly increasing. So thickness will be increasing from O. Thickness will be increasing from O. Now when a light is illuminated from the top, then the reflected light rays are coming out from the upper surface and bottom surface. These two reflected light rays causes interference. That interference will create, when you look through a microscope, it will create bright and dark fringes. When you are looking through the microscope of eyepiece, assume this is eyepiece, right? Here it creates bright and dark fringes. These fringes are equidistant fringes. The fringes are spaced equally, right? If you are measuring the distance between the two consecutive fringes, it has the same distance. Similarly, if you measure the distance between the two consecutive dark fringes, the distance between the bright fringe and the distance between the dark fringe are common, so that are same for any two fringe. So that is the fringe with the fringe distance is common for all the cases, so that it is called equidistant fringes. Fine. So this is all about air wedge. So air wedge will create an bright and dark fringes as like the thin film creates. Now we can apply the condition for bright fringe and dark fringe that we have derived from thin film to air wedge as well. Now we are applying that condition for dark fringe, which is obtained from thin film, that we have discussed in our previous lecture. We are applying that condition to air wedge, and we are going to derive now the expression for fringe width. Expression for fringe width. We will start from the condition for the dark fringe. So the condition for dark fringe is 2nt cos r, which is equal to m lambda. 2nt cos r equal to m lambda. See, in the thin film, this n will be the refractive index of the material with which the film is made. Here, within these two glass plates, this glass plate of very fine, negligible thickness that we have considered, so that we have to consider the refractive index of the air. For air, the refractive index is equal to 1. So refractive index for air, which is equal to 1, and we assume the case where for the air wedge, the incident light ray coming normal to the air wedge, right? Incident light ray coming normal to the air wedge, and the reflected ray also parallel to the incident ray. This is what the condition we are assuming. So in that case, cos 0, that is equal to 1. We are this cos r becomes 0. In that case, r is equal to 0. So that cos r, which is equal to cos 0, that is equal to 1. Right? Now, see, let's consider, this is air wedge. We have created air wedge, and we are putting a circular material. One side, in the origin, two thin glass plates are made. Another side, we have a circular material as a support. Now the thickness of this material, you can say d at this point. And now from this point to this point, let us say OP, and the length we can say this as L. Now suppose we said there are bright and dark fringes will be created. So let's say the mth fringes will be created from this point. So this point this point from the O is the point from which the mth dark fringe is created. So now we can say that this is at this point, this is thickness T for mth fringe, and from this point to this point, this is the distance from the origin for mth fringe. Similarly, we can consider, and so here it is mth. Let's say here it is m plus 1, for example. So in that case, thickness, this is the thickness for m plus 1th fringe. For that, the distance from the origin would be x m plus 1. That is the distance from this point to this point, x m plus 1. Okay. So in the top, you can define Q as what we have mentioned here. Now we can write this expression for mth dark fringe. So that condition for mth dark fringe, is 2 times Tm, which is equal to m lambda. This is, we can say, equation number 2. This is equation number 1. Similarly, we can write condition for m plus 1th dark fringe. For that, we can write 2, n becomes 1, t m plus 1 in suffix. Here also t m in suffix. 2t m plus 1, which is equal to m plus 1 times lambda. This is equation number 3. Now subtracting equation number 2 from equation number 3. So we can write 3 minus 1. So 2tm plus 1 minus 2tm. This side it becomes m plus 1 lambda minus m lambda. So we can take 2 common out. Tm plus 1 minus Tm, which is equal to m lambda plus lambda minus m lambda. So these will cancel out, remaining is lambda. So what we are having, 2 Tm plus 1 minus Tm, which is equal to lambda. So, and see, if this is one dark fringe and if this is another dark fringe, then this distance will be the fringe. These are the difference will be the fringe distance. The distance between Tm plus 1 and Tm is the fringe width. Okay. So now here this is the situation when we subtract these two equations. Now let xm and xm plus 1, that we have already said is the distance for the mth and m plus 1th fringe from origin. So these are the distances for mth and m plus 1th fringe from O. And then now D is called, we are said we have placed some circular material here as a support. It could be a very tiny very small diameter wire. Let's say this is the diameter of the wire that we have placed there. Diameter of the wire we have placed there, and L is the distance from O to the point where we have placed the wire. So this is the distance between O from wire. So distance from O to wire. So with this, now see, this is theta. Okay, we can write the equation for tan theta. So let us consider this triangle. This is a triangle. It's theta. This side it is, opposite side is Tm, adjacent side is xm. Now if you want to turn theta, you can write opposite side by adjacent side, so that Tm by xm. Right? When the theta is small, you can approximate tan theta to theta, so it becomes theta is equal to Tm by xm. Okay, so in that analogy, we can write Tm by xm equal to Tm plus 1 by xm plus 1 equal to Tm plus 1 by xm plus 1, or D by L equal to theta. This we can write as equation number 5. Now let us consider Tm plus 1 by xm plus 1, which is equal to D by L. Okay, or we can write Tm plus 1, which is equal to D by L into xm plus 1. This is one case when you compare these two. Or if you comparing these two, Tm by xm is also equal to D by L. So here you can write Tm, which is equal to D by L multiplied by xm. Okay. Now let's say this is equation number 6a. This is equation number 6b. Let us consider this equation 6a and 6b, substituting it into the equation number 4. Okay. So that now 2 times Tm plus 1 is equal to D by L into xm plus 1 minus Tm. So D by L xm, which is equal to lambda. Now d by L we can take out common, so 2 times d by L, xm plus 1 minus xm, which is equal to lambda. Okay, but as I said earlier, this distance, right, distance between the m plus 1th fringe and mth fringe is nothing but the fringe width. So we can define, let fringe width as beta, that is nothing but xm plus 1 minus xm. So substitute this in equation 7. So what we will get, 2 times d by L into beta, which is equal to lambda. What we want fringe with beta, so you can rewrite this equation, beta equal to L lambda by 2d, L lambda by 2d. Then d by L is equal to theta, so L by d is equal to 1 by theta, or you can write beta equal to, you see, we have set d by L equal to theta, right, opposite side by adjacent side equal to theta. So if d by L equal to theta, then L by d becomes 1 by theta, right? So here L by d, so that beta becomes lambda by 2 theta. So this is the expression for fringe width created by the air wedge, fringes, equidistant fringes created by the air wedge. So fringe width for that case, mathematically we can write beta equal to L lambda by 2d or beta equal to lambda by 2 theta. Here L constant, lambda is the wavelength of the incoming light ray. If it is a monochromatic source, then it has only one wavelength, so lambda, and diameter of the wire is constant, or if theta, if you are using this equation, theta is constant. Substituting these values, we can able to calculate the fringe width. Or if you are given with fringe width, if the wavelength is not known, then we can able to calculate wavelength with using other parameters. If one parameter is not known, if other parameter is known, then we can able to calculate the unknown parameter. Now in the next part of this lecture, we are going to calculate the unknown thickness of the given wire, right? We will be given with a thin wire and we are going to create an air wedge setup using that wire, and we are going to see the diameter of that wire using a simple experiment. That is the next part of this lecture. Experiment to measure the diameter of a thin wire. How to construct this experiment? We are given with a wire of diameter d. So let's take two glass plates. We are taking two glass plates and we are creating air wedge setup by putting the wire on the one end so that it will look like this. So this is one glass plate, this is another glass plate, so it is glass plate. We place the wire of unknown diameter d at one end, other end is tied with rubber. It is tied with rubber. Okay. Now this part, the two glass plates touches with each other, and this part we are having glass plates over there. Now, and this angle is theta. So this angle is theta, and from this point O2 and the point where this where this wire is placed, that is the distance length L. Okay, that is the length L. Now we can say this height is D. That is what we are going to be calculated. And now we place an 45-degree inclined partial reflecting mirror, right? So when you pass the light, part of the light will be reflected. Similarly, when you pass the light will also, part of the light will be penetrated through it, pass through it. Now we are having source here, right? This source is concentrated and made to fall over this light. So the light ray coming from the source, it is concentrated using a concentrated. So this is the light source S. It is light concentrated. This is 45-degree inclined mirror, right? Partial mirror. Part of the light will pass through it, part of the light will penetrate. Okay, and so that as it is placed 45-degree, the light ray getting reflected. So the reflecting angle is 90-degree. Angle of incidence equal to angle of reflection. So it is coming into hit the glass plate with the 45-degree of angle, so that it is reflecting back with 45 degrees. So total 90-degree. And so this is the direction of the incoming light ray. Once this light ray getting reflected and refracted with the air wedge, it is again reflecting back, and it travels back and it's passed through this, and this ray is absorbed. This ray is observed using a traveling microscope. This ray will be observed by the traveling microscope. So incoming light ray, it is getting reflected and it's traveling towards, this is the eyepiece of the traveling microscope. Okay, and this is the setup. So we are adjusting the microscope in such a way that we are clearly seeing the bright and dark fringes. So when you look into this, you will find the bright and dark fringes like this. One can observe bright and dark fringes when the position of the air wedge and the height of the traveling microscope is adjusted in such a way we could able to clearly see in the equal distance bright and dark fringes. Now see, we have to focus the cross wire to a particular fringe, cross wire of the traveling microscope to the particular fringe. Let's define that fringe is mth fringe. Okay, and we have to note down the values shown in the main scale reading of the traveling microscope, and then this traveling microscope is moved towards 1 2 3 4 5 fifth fringe. So we can notice we can put the cross wire in the m plus fifth fringe. Then we can again observe, measure the note the traveling microscope reading, right? Horizontal reading we can note. In that way we can create a tabulation. That tabulation finally will yield us the fringe width for fringe width between two consecutive dark fringes. That is tabulation for fringe width. For that, what we are doing is we need the order of the fringe. Initially, we calculate the reading for mth fringe, then m plus 5, then m plus 5, and so on. Likewise, we will take 10 readings, so m plus 50. So for mth fringe, we are going to calculate the traveling microscope reading. We will have main scale reading, Vernier scale reading, total reading. All will be in centimeters, so let us convert it into meter. Let's put 10 power minus 2. Then, right, if we subtract the values of the traveling microscope, values for mth and m plus 5th fringe, we will get the fringe width for 5 fringes. Then we will get fringe width for a fringe, 1 fringe. Okay, so we can complete this table. Also, it is observed in centimeters, so we can convert this into meter. Okay, so for mth fringe, we are putting the crosswire on mth fringe, and in traveling microscope you can notice the horizontal reading and you can notice on vertical reading. Here we are going to measure the horizontal reading in the traveling microscope. For mth fringe, we can note down the main scale reading, Vernier scale reading, and total reading. And similarly, we can note the traveling microscope reading for m plus 5th fringe, m plus 10th fringe, and so on until m plus 50th fringe. You have to set up the traveling microscope in such a way. So here we are having readings. If we subtract the total reading for m plus 5th fringe from mth fringe, we will get the fringe width for 5 fringes. Similarly, we can calculate the fringe width for different cases, right? So that we are having the reading here. So this reading should have identical values. There may be some error. It is due to the experimental error, right? All these would have almost the same value, and if you divide this value by 5, we will get the fringe width for 1. If you taking the average, then we will get a close, it is almost a correct value. We are going towards the correctness if you are taking many readings. So the average will give you the fringe width for here. The average will give you the fringe width for 1 fringe. So that will be in centimeter. If you calculate, it will be generally in millimeters. Okay, we are getting beta. We got beta, and if you, but what we need to do is we need to calculate the diameter d. What is the formula actually? We have the formula. We have the formula that we have just derived. That formula tells that beta equal to lambda L by 2d. This was the formula that we have derived in the first part of this lecture. What we need to calculate d so that you can rewrite this equation for lambda L by 2 beta. So here what we have calculated from this tabulation is fringe width for 1 fringe, and lambda is the wavelength of the light source that is used. This is the light source. If it is a monochromatic light, then we have a particular value. Generally, sodium vapor lamp will be used in this place. So we can write the wavelength for the sodium vapor lamp here. Now what the remaining parameter must be needed to be calculated, d is L. L. What is L? L is the length of the air wedge, that is from the origin to the point where this wire is placed. This we can calculate using, again this we have calculated using the traveling microscope itself. What we can do is we have to take up this air wedge, and first we have to measure. So first we have to measure the traveling microscope reading for this position. For this position, the edges of interaction. For this position, another thing is the position of the wire. Okay. So what is the thing is? So we are having air wedge now. So we focus the traveling microscope to the edge where these two glass plates are in contact, and we note that reading, main scale reading, vernier scale reading, total reading in the horizontal scale. Then we will move the traveling microscope to this right end where this wire is placed, and you fix that microscope in this position. We again calculate main scale, vernier scale and total reading. If we subtract that, we will get the this value L, right? How do we do that? So we have to calculate the traveling microscope reading in two positions. So traveling microscope reading will give you main scale reading, vernier scale reading, total reading. So first position, the point of interaction, and second position at wire, right? So here we are putting the microscope here, and we are taking the horizontal reading in the traveling microscope. Then we are moving the traveling microscope to the wire, and we are again taking the reading, right? The first reading we are noting here, and second reading we are noting here, and the length L that we can calculate by subtracting 2 from 1. Okay. Again, this will be in 10 power minus 2 meter. It will be in centimeter. We can convert it with multiplying with 10 power minus 2 meter. So this you can do with by subtracting 2 from 1. It is also 10 from 10 power minus 2 meter. Okay, we have, so you subtract, so this is first, this is the total reading for the first case, position of the interaction. This is the total reading for the second case, that is the position of the wire. If you subtract the reading appeared here from the reading appeared here, then you will get the value L. Substituting beta, L, lambda and doing calculations, we will find the diameter of the given wire. So it's a simple experiment to calculate the unknown diameter of the given wire. So this experiment functions with the concept of interference patterns that is created by the air wedge. So in today's lecture, we have discussed the concept of air wedge and the expression for the calculation of fringe width. Using that, we have described an experiment to calculate the unknown diameter of a given thin wire. So with this, let me stop here. If you have any doubts, clarifications, please ask me in the comment. We will promptly reply you. And in the next class, we will discuss about the concept of Newton's rings and the associated experimental procedure. Thank you. See you again.